You ready, Mr. Loach?
Ready as will ever be, Cosmos. So the
Uh,
last time we were here, we got to view his opinion on what he said to be the first time he was doing a book character versus the
versus the
what was your
JJK
word?
universe. It was Percy Jackson versus the JJK verse.
That
And he
was
used
right.
some very interesting scaling where, well, one, he misinterpreted his Google search, but the very basic thing I remember is, because it has been a little bit for continuity, the main thing I remember is he tried to use the scaling of Percy setting off an eruption and the force that that eruption generates as the force that Percy generated because he set off the. So basically, what he was saying is Mount St. Helens generates this amount of megatons when it erupts, and he was trying to equate that amount of megatons to the amount of force Percy generated, as if Percy generated that much force, and so when Mount St. Helens erupted, like a very weird logic that doesn't work. Like if I press this button, I'm gun level because I can pull the trigger on a gun and kill someone, and I generated that force. I don't know. It's very weird.
Man, I sure do hope the characters in which he talks about keeps that level of scaling.
So that was his most recent video when we recorded it, and now we're going back to his roots, where he started. This would perhaps be where it was more, and I don't. This isn't to be accusatory of what happens to most creators over time, but we would assume this would be more of a passion project than anything else. He started his channel talking about Ichigo, and then it took like 3 or 4 videos before he did a JJK video. It took off,
One
and then
video.
he
It
did
was it was his next video.
right. But what's the next popular video of his? Like, what's it? I think when I remember looking at it when we first started out, it was
Yeah, it's he does the Ichigo Kurosaki one, gets 16K views, pretty good.
yeah.
The next one he actually does on Jujutsu Kaisen actually doesn't get a whole lot of views. It's only 3.6K.
Yeah,
It's
it's the
then
Gojo one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's then 4 videos after this Ichigo video, where we get to that fifth video after this, where he talks about Gojo that gets a whopping 117K videos. This is 3 years ago.
Yeah. So, and maybe he just really got into JJK and liked it. But what I think motivates the reason why Broken Ronin, which is definitely not anything JJK related, basically turned into a JJK channel is, well, because that's where the views were, and there's no problem with that. But we're obviously going to get more of a look at his passion, which I'm excited for. I like Bleach. I'm not as familiar with it as a lot of people are. I could tell you the Soul Society arc, then I could tell you roughly the Iran cars, and then I could tell you about the Fullbring stuff and the Hueco Mundo stuff. When you get to like after Grimjow, I really start getting fuzzy, and people have to remind me, yeah, that like this happened here, and then Aizen comes back and gets unsealed here, and then they reseal him and unfuck him and refuck him and repackage it. Apparently, Aizen comes back like 17 fucking times in Bleach, but
Hey,
this is
listen,
more your wheelhouse.
all I'm saying is if you've watched the Soul Society arc,
You've
you've
watched
already
Bleach.
you've already watched Bleach. Because Kubo, he just does the Soul Society arc over and fucking over again.
To be fair, the Soul Society
It,
arc is a
it
banger.
was a really good arc. It was freaking phenomenal. Trust me. If I wrote what could arguably be one of the best arcs in shonen, I would
Ooh.
keep writing it.
Hey man, you're fighting with like Saiyan Saga to Namek Saga, Dragon Ball Z. You're fighting with like 23rd Tenkaichi Dragon Ball. You're fighting with like, okay, here's a good question, and we're gonna totally get sidetracked before we go. This is CRS, but do you think the Soul Society arc is better than Chunin Exam's OG Naruto?
Oh, that's a really good question.
From like a narrative point of view, not just what you find more enjoyable, just as a story that was told through the course of the tuning exams. Because I actually think the Soul Society arc is way better than the tuning exams as a narrative.
Yeah, no, because I'm having to think about it. Because like, I think the seeds that are planted and the world building development that happens in Soul Society arc is so paramount to what Bleach is that you can't say the same thing for tuning exams.
Now, a lot of Gears people will get big fans of Naruto will hear that and get really mad because they're like, well, so many things that happened in Naruto happened because of Chunin exams. Because you got to remember that people only really remember the tournament arc and the Chunin exams, but obviously we have the Forest of Death. We
I
have
think of Forest of Death. Whenever I think of training exams, I think of Forest of Death before I think of the tournament.
really, I mean, a lot of people don't, but yeah, Forest of Death I actually really liked. But you get the seeds of Orochimaru showing up, placing the curse seal on Sasuke. Sasuke falling deeper into it, breaking the Sound Ninja arms. We're getting the Sound Ninja Inklings coming in. Then you have Naruto, who's basically failing upwards through the Chunin exams, and it's kind of working out through that protagonist luck and sheer grit, which, we're pretty endeared to Naruto by this point, so we're rooting for him. This is after the Zabuza arc, where Naruto's already proved himself, at least to us, the audience, as he's not the most talented, but god damn it, is he, committed to the cause, and he's willing to go down for his friends. And it's hard to not like a kid like that. You get more connected to a main character, I think, when he's not overpowered. Like, I don't think Naruto would have worked as well if Naruto was Sasuke instead. If like they flipped their character sets and powers. If Sasuke was like the main character, I don't think Naruto would have done as well. And that's a tangent inside a tangent. But
I mean, the thing I will say about the training exams as well is also during the Forest of Death sequence, you get to start seeing that full development of the trio of Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto as they really start knowing each other, are able to play up with each other and play to each other's strengths much more so than in the previous arcs. Like it really comes to a head in showing the development that Team 7 has.
yeah, and then we've got stuff like the One Tails and Gaara and Naruto. They look alike aside from the red and yellow hair, but they're also inversions of each other. Both being at opposite ends of the extremes when it comes to the Nine Tails. One is the Nine Tails, one is the One Tails. Both were hated by their village, but Naruto started to cultivate a friendship around it, where Gaara's basically got followers instead of friends who happen to be his siblings. I'm still not actually 100% certain on the relationship between Kankuro, Tamari, and Gaara. I don't know if they're actually siblings or what, but
it's just like a weird wordplay thing.
Yeah,
I mean, the main thing is Gaara didn't have an Aruka Sensei.
Well, yeah, Gaara didn't have a fucking ramen stand. Is what it really is.
True, he didn't get free food.
Dude was fucking hungry. He's just hangry, dude. Get a Snickers, Gaara.
But you draw the comparison from that, which it has all those really good build-ups, and we're not trying to take away from it by saying that. But if you put that juxtaposition to Soul Society arc, you get the build-up of seeing the captain, you get the introduction to the fucking the Zanpakutos, fucking my boy Kenpachi. You get to see fucking Renji. You get to see all of the fucking gas immediately. You get the world building. You get the rescuing the girl. It's great.
Well, I think it's hard to compare them because Soul Society is basically the start of the real story in Bleach. Like, until then, it's basically a Hollow of the Weak story. Ichigo's at school and Rukia's gotta yank him away and he's gonna go do Soul Society stuff. The story of Bleach starts when Rukia's older brother, Byakuya, shows up, beats the shit out of Ichigo, and takes Rukia and tells him, hey, I'm going to kill her, by the way. She's being executed. That's basically when the story starts. Whereas with the Chunin exams, we've already gotten a decent amount of world building and introduction to all of our characters, and even introduction to our villains. Like, we've heard of and seen Orochimaru before this point. Because of the nature of Shippuden, if we're gonna take Naruto and Naruto Shippuden as a package deal, then what makes these difficult to compare is just like Bleach. A lot of Naruto Shippuden doesn't happen without the Chunin exams. I mean, we gotta remember, the end of the Chunin exams has the third Hokage dying, which means now we have to go get Tsunade. Naruto learns the Rasengan on the way to go get Tsunade and is motivated to master it in a week. Naruto is motivated to learn the Rasengan as a direct result of the ending of the Chunin exams, and it's like his key power up or his key ability. Jiraiya shows up to train him, kind of thing, at this time, and that's all as a result of what happens in the Chunin exams, not what happens in the Chunin exams itself. But then you also have the fact of the Gaara actually manifesting his tailed beast. I really like it when animes or just stories in general get to show us potentials for our main character by showing a similar moveset on another character, use it in a different way. We've seen Naruto freak out a little bit and bring a little bit of this tailed beast out. We have never seen him fully incarnate into the Nine Tails, and if that happened, that would be very, very bad. At the ending of the Chunin exams, Gaara fully manifests into the One Tails, and Naruto beats it. Like, first of all, that's just an insane feat. Like, people forget that Naruto and OG Naruto solos a tailed beast by himself as a Genin. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, it makes it hard to.
My boy was carried by Boss Frog.
Dude, Gamabunta's fucking sick. I don't think. I think Kubo made a mistake with that. I don't think you make Naruto solo fully incarnated Shukaku. And then you run into issues where, like, each tailed beast is on a level of magnitude more chakra and more powerful than the next. So it's like the 2 tails is twice as strong as the 1 tails or something. Then the 3 tails is 3 times as strong, and you keep going up and you keep going up. So it's supposed to be like the 9 tails is like 9 orders of magnitude stronger than the 1 tails, which is supposed to explain why Naruto's able to do that. But then it's almost like that means the 9 tails has like 90% of the 10 tails chakra in terms of the storyline with the 10 tails. Why the fuck are you targeting Naruto last? In terms of, like...
We need to gather the 10% power to be able to fight the guy with 90% of it. That's actually a really good point. Wait, what the fuck?
And we're gonna give him 4 years to train with a legendary Sannin Jiraiya, who trained Minato the Yellow Flash. Oh, well, it's not like Naruto's related to that Minato guy at all, is he? I have to make a call.
I need to make a phone call immediately.
But yeah, I mean, this is a super long tangent, but this is all to say, I would say, as a whole, there is... Okay, so the issue... Because we've said all the positive of both of these. The negatives of Soul Society arc is not really on Soul Society arc. Yeah, so the biggest problem with Soul Society arc is the fact that it just... The rest of the anime is that. The biggest problem with Chunin exams is actually... I mean, kind of the Chunin exams. I mean, let's be real. The test isn't really that interesting. The whole point of it is that there's supposed to be answers you're not supposed to know, so you have to cheat or gather intel. Here's the issue, though. If no one's supposed to know the answers, who are you cheating off of? I guess there are just some genuine nerds.
No, you're misremembering. Oh? They have planted students in there that know the answers.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, they planted people in there that would know the answers, so you had the people that you needed to get the intel from.
Okay, that's all well and good. The point of the test is to never give up, though, because Naruto passes the test because he refuses to give up, even in the face of overwhelming threat. Where he goes, if you fail the tuning exams, you're a Genin forever, or you can no longer be a ninja.
I will agree. I think it was really lame how Naruto got through it, but the structure of the test in the beginning was structured appropriately.
Well, I think the issue
he just threw the bag out the moment he was like, well, Naruto's a blazing dumbass, so of course he's not going to be able to figure it out. So pure determination, I guess.
Well, yeah, okay, here's the thing that I think Kubo struggles with. Kubo comes up with a cool concept, and then he bullshits his way out of it.
Kubo is Bleach.
Yeah, sorry. Kishimoto. Kishimoto. So Kishimoto will come up with a cool concept and bullshit his way out of it. So it's like, oh, this is a really cool idea for the first level of the Chunin exams, the test. You have a really hard test, you have plants in there, and then like people are using intel or cheating. All right, cool. Naruto can't do any of that though. Like you've set him up in a situation where he's not able to overcome the scenario. So do you get creative with like Sasuke and Sakura are very well aware that if Naruto fails, they also fail. So maybe Sasuke and Sakura. I feel like this is such a layup that you didn't have to go determination route. There's two routes you can go. You can go power friendship route, or you can go determination route, but in a cool way. So let me explain. The power friendship route is Sakura is the nerd of the three. Sasuke's a genius when it comes to implementing jutsus and figuring them out fast and doing that kind of thing. Naruto is actually really good at coordination and planning out battles. We can say we don't know for sure, but it'd be cool if Naruto was the one who planned out their like maneuver against Zabuza. Maybe Naruto is a bit of a battle IQ guy. Sakura should be the student. What you should have is Sakura taking the test, Sasuke cheating off of Sakura, or I think it'd actually be pretty cool if Sakura just straight up knows the answers. And that just kind of shows a rare usefulness from her. And then Sasuke cheats off of her and then slips the answers to Naruto. And then
and then the goal can be, well, of course Sasuke can cheat off Sakura, but then the goal of the test is getting the answers to Naruto.
And I think it could be a fun thing where they try to pass a note to Naruto, but Naruto's a good kid, he doesn't cheat. And so now they have to figure out a way to like get the answers to Naruto, or you know what I mean? Like now they have to get around Naruto's moral code, or maybe they have to be like, if you fail, we fail. So there's one way you can do that. And then in the next test, you could have Sasuke being the guy who basically gets the trio through, and then the final test, Naruto gets the trio.
You basically already have that whenever Sasuke is able to figure out the Sound Village dude that was trying to sneak into their group.
Yeah. All right, and then if you don't want to do that, if you want to like show off how determined Naruto is to be a ninja, this is what you do instead. Naruto does that whole speech, and then the proctor just goes like, well, that's not how it works. You fail. You can never become a ninja again unless, and like, it's like, there's this alternative way to pass this written exam, but I didn't offer it up because I figured nobody would be stupid enough to take it. But you've gotten on my nerves. You can fight me to the death. If you win, you can move on to the next stage. And Naruto, being an idiot, of course, takes it up. And he fights him.
You have to fight me because then there will be no one left alive to grade it.
And then Naruto fights him, and he gets beat up. And this whole time, the proctor's just expecting this kid to crack or run away and scream for his life because he's like, this kid's incompetent, and he's just all talk, all brass. I'll humble him and I'll scare him away. But Naruto never does that. He keeps fighting even when he knows he's outclassed, because the options are death or a life of not fulfilling his dream. And so he beats Naruto up real bad. Naruto refuses to give up. You show his grit, and then he passes Naruto in the end because he recognizes that this kid isn't just all talk. He actually is committed to being a ninja, and so he'll give him a chance. And you could do that. And I think that's how you do it more interesting. Then you have, of course, just the filler that's in the Chunin exams. I mean, tell me one thing that happened in the Sakura and Ino fight. Go on, Trevor.
Oh, right, they did fight.
Yeah, hey, Trevor, what happened in the Sakura Ino fight? Besides the 2 episodes of flashbacks.
There were 2 episodes of flashbacks.
Dude, yes.
Ino used
Uh-huh.
her mind switch jutsu on her.
Okay, and then what happened?
And then she beat herself up.
Okay. What happened in the bug guys fight? Who did the bug guy fight? I don't remember.
He fought the guy with the little sound pipes in his hands.
Okay, all right. And
I remember that one because that guy was my favorite from the Sound Village.
Dante, what do you want, dude?
Get that cat out of here.
He's trying to get in here, dude. So, I think the point I'm trying to make is there's not a whole lot of it. I do like the tuning exams, but there's bad in them. I don't think there's actually bad in the Shibuya. I don't think there's bad in the Soul Society.
Yeah, bro, we're not doing JJK yet. Come on, come on, Broken Ronin, calm down.
And this is a mega long tangent, I think, just because we're talking about Bleach and we're talking about how this is kind of more your wheelhouse. Because once we get past the first couple of arcs, this is I'm not familiar with the 1,000-Year Blood War arc at all. But what do you think about this title? As we can see here, the most realistic main character, Ichigo Kurosaki.
Okay, the first thing we have to think about is he talking about in reference to shonens, or is he just talking about media in general? I'm assuming it's not media in general. I'm presuming we're talking about in the realm of wheelhouse of anime.
And I mean,
and if we're
I just want to say, if we're talking about the wheelhouse of anime, then we obviously have to keep in mind that he could be talking about realistic in different ways. Like, he might not mean realistic in terms of obviously powers or origin of birth or anything. It could be realistic in terms of the way he responds to his trauma.
Yeah, I figure I'm not going to be the dumbass that goes, "But your glasses emoji is Soul Reaper realistic, Quincy."
Well, yeah, like... and I'm also kind of getting in front of the whole... Well, he started out the anime being able to see ghosts, and he has orange fucking hair that people call him Strawberry for, and he, there are things that are unusual about him in terms of he's not a grounded, realistic person, but we're going to assume, and I think it'd be fair to assume, that he's meaning realistic in terms of his approach to life, or response to in his environment. So,
or the actions he takes, and just the aspects of his character.
And I think I can see it. I'd have to hear more of it, but I don't. I think it's a bold claim, and I think people usually do this for the clicks, but you don't have to do this. You could just say one of the most realistic characters, or Ichigo's more realistic than you think. Or when you do the most realistic main character, it's like my brain wants to go, well, this character's more realistic. And so,
Yeah, by making a definitive statement like this, you're almost wanting to invite us to go, yeah, well, have you considered this person? Have you considered this person? Have you considered this person? I mean, I'm willing to be convinced. Like, I'm not coming into this thinking just on default you're wrong. I can be convinced of this because I don't have any characters that deliberately come to mind. Now, of course, I'm coming into this with the perspective of this is from 3 years ago. Yeah. So I'm trying not to count any of the more recent animes because, I mean, I feel like it would just be unfair to not say Yuji at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was gonna say Yuji, but I think I know this sounds weird, but I think Saitama is a great example of a realistic approach to an overpowered character. What happens to a person when they're so strong they beat anything they fight in one hit? Well, they get a little complacent. They get a little depressed. They get caught up in the ordinary mundane.
Actually, I haven't considered that one. No, that's actually a really good pick. And I mean, I can understand where the thought process from making this title comes from. What it is I feel like he's comparing it to a lot of the other major shonens that are coming out. So like
a Luffy, like a Goku. These are not realistic characters.
Yeah, Luffy, Goku, Naruto.
Yeah.
Probably Midoriya, but even Midoriya.
I'd have to, dude. Episode or the first 3 episodes of My Hero still never fail to get a little bit of a tear out of me because, man, Deku convinces me. Deku convinces me that he is a kid who desperately wants to be a hero to save people, and he's born powerless in a world full of powerful people. How cruel. I'm convinced that he's All Might's #1 fan, and that's all he wants to do is be like All Might, where he can save people with a smile. And you can one of the big things that I think people overlook about Deku is when he's watching that video that he watches for his almost comfort thing. The big thing about that is you hear people in the audience go, "It's All Might, it's All Might," and they stop screaming. They stop panicking. I think that's something that Deku really wants. He wants to show up on the scene, and people go, "Oh, okay, we're okay." No one ever dies when Deku's around. No one ever dies when All Might's around. I think that's what Deku craves, and he's powerless. And when he gets recognized by All Might, and All Might says, "I'll make you my successor, and I'll make you powerful," and Deku starts crying as he bows, and he's willing to fucking train like 9 hours a day while he also goes to school. Because if he eats the power too soon, his body will explode from trying to use power that he can't handle. Like, that's a realistic approach to it. I mean, I think Deku's a really great pick.
I mean, one of the things that I want to say about this is, I am not a My Hero stan.
Me neither.
That's gonna be the first thing I wanted to get out here. I'm not saying this as somebody who's like, yeah, My Hero Academia is one of the great. No, what I'm just trying to get across here is a thing that also we need to take into consideration whenever we're having this conversation is My Hero has many extra years of context to build this up.
A lot of hindsight, just like JJK does, obviously. So, and for the people who heard my rant and go like, "Oh man, someone who gets My Hero," let's just go ahead and scare you away. Bakugo is a horrible piece of shit character. He's like a reflection of Deku in the sense that where Deku is one of the season 1 Deku is one of the characters I like a whole lot. Bakugo is one of my most hated anime characters of all time.
Yep, 100%. Bro only apologizes for telling a dude to
kill
to
himself.
Get rid of. Okay, I was gonna try to skirt around it so we could maybe monetize the video.
We're 28 minutes in. We're okay.
Yeah. So, bro tells him that, and then doesn't apologize. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Only apologizes to him whenever Deku reaches a level of power
that he can respect and fear.
That he can't fuck with him.
Yeah.
This is literally the bully only stopped bullying me after I took 5 years of jujitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you.
And
no.
Let's not forget how needlessly cruel. And this is a tangent inside a tangent inside a tangent. But fuck it. Fuck Bakugo. Bakugo not only told him that, but he also did it as a way to encourage him to get powers. He was purposely making fun of someone who was weak and defenseless, telling them to end their own lives in the hope that they would get reincarnated as someone with power. That is one of the fucked up things about that. And he does that as he burns his journal that he sees him feverishly working on every day. Just, fuck you.
Then the fucking writer wants to come in and say, I was only mean to you because I was so jealous of you. Shut the fuck up, dude. No, he wasn't.
No, he was mean to him because he was someone who was beneath him that had no possible chance of ever fighting back. I don't think we would see Bakugo bullying a young Mirio who, I think if Bakugo thought that Deku... I think we have a really good example. The second Bakugo saw that Deku had a quirk and he didn't know where that quirk came from, his behavior immediately changed toward Deku. It wasn't immediately friendly. It was just not directly confrontational. It was still like, I don't like you.
It was stop fucking direct confrontation because he might get his ass beat straight up.
Exactly. Okay, so we are exactly 30 minutes into the video and we haven't pressed play. So this is the second episode. Welcome.
We gotta get all the preamble out. We have to get all the context.
Sure. So, if you're new here, which you most likely are because it's the second episode, welcome to CRS. We audit content creators, and this is the second audit on Broken... Oh, not the second, but this is the second...
The continued audit.
Yeah, the continued session. The government only pays us so much to...
We get paid hourly. Do you really think we're gonna expedite through getting this guy's fucking video out here? No, I'm gonna take my time. I'm taking my coffee break right now.
Yeah.
Why do you think it takes so long at the DMV? Do you think we're fucking rushing around?
Dude, we're in the back getting your documentation. We're really just forwarding it to China and selling your information for nickels, dude. We don't even do it for the money. We do it for the laugh.
Yeah, no. Get. Oh no, I called your number already. Go get another one. Fuck you.
Don't like it? Get a new government. Oh wait.
Yeah, don't like it. Go to a different government spot. It's not gonna affect me.
Oh, dude, why don't you go to my competition? Dang, I don't have any. Oh, darn, dude.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. But getting back to the subject of Bleach, or no, we know actually we were making progress. We're getting to the title of the video.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't say we're not making progress.
I didn't say we weren't making progress. I was letting people know who might be new that if you were looking for a quick or a reaction, if you're like, oh, I'll watch this video instead of the video,
I'll click on what was probably going to be a 2-hour video to get the quick context on a 9-minute video.
Well, yeah, it's just this is not for legal reasons or just more than that, but moral and I guess ethical and
yeah. We will say this early on in our career in putting out these videos. We are not going to do a Mr. Chair. We are not going to do a Hassan Piker. We are not
Hassan Piker. Sorry,
I'm going.
Dude, it's like a trigger. It's like a fucking sleeper code at this point. I hear that and I fucking. But right, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going just to let the video run. We you can see from the last episode that we did, we got uncomfortable whenever it went over a minute without us saying anything.
Yeah, because it was like I feel like I need to say something here. Like I feel like I'm just letting the video run, and that is the sign usually of an okay-ish video.
I would really like the idea that Broken Ronin will see this, and he'll think that we're not just tearing him apart. We're actually trying to give good commentary for this video.
Yeah, and obviously none of this is ever meant as a takedown. It's in the works, and this is a completely. We picked Broken Ronin to be the first one because it was someone that neither of us knew, so it was the most outside perspective we could get. But there's plans in the future to do audits of channels that have a good standing in the community that people really, really like and we really like as creators. And there are going to be people that are very maligned in the community that we really dislike. And there's going to be times where in both categories we come away with like, that video wasn't the best, or that video surprised us with how good it was. And the hope is that the longer we do this, we get to a point where standards have been raised and people have come to the plate with actual good content where we can listen to it and pause it and discuss what you're talking about and come away feeling like we've gained something from it. I think everyone's just a bit tired of clicking on videos and hearing nothing for 9 minutes straight and then ending it with a 30-minute ad for Audible or something. Or not 30-minute, but 30-second ad. People want actual content with people who know about what they're talking about and have a passion. That's kind of what we're doing here.
Now, jumping off that, if you guys want to see any more of this kind of content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, that way you can know whenever we upload. Throw the video a like if you think we did a decent job, or don't. It's 100% your choice. Helps us out.
Here's the Patreon. Here's the OnlyFans. Here's the Pornhub.
We'll get a Patreon up eventually if people like the content we do. Honestly, this is just us kind of doing a passion project right now.
I was making the joke, but we have a link tree. Here's our Instagram.
Yeah, here's our fucking Instagram. Here's our paid DMs on Gumroad.
$5 for feet pics, $10 for jerking off, $15 for jerking off audio.
It costs extra for audio.
Yeah, of course it does, dude. You don't get to hear the squelching of the meat for free, dude. Dude, it costs $20 to see me nut, dude. Are you kidding me? All right.
Long overdue. So this video got 16K views, which I think is a pretty decent amount for your first time. Now, of course, it was 3 years ago, and I don't feel like
over the course of his channel blowing up, people have gone back, and that's probably what happened.
I don't feel like going on the Wayback Machine to see how many views it got at a specific time. So, I think 16K views for your first video from 3 years ago is good. I mean, you're getting a decent amount of views on what is arguably what people would assume is going to be your worst video. Even us, our first video we're gonna put out, I will hope is our worst one.
Well, yeah, like best case scenario, you get better with every video. So your first video is going to be your worst. So we're expecting worst audio than like we're not going to punish or like criticize you for having worst audio than the last video. We're not gonna expect better audio than we understand doing the most recent and then the first one. Man, and maybe it'll be something we change actually going forward. What do you think about that? In the future, maybe doing the first video he did, then the most recent video he did.
I actually do like that change.
Because I don't really think that that's fair to the first video if we watch their most recent product first.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Like we saved that video for like the eye catcher. I think that actually be a way better strategy. Well, Broken Ronin, I'm sorry, you get the worst experience. Fuck you, I guess.
But we will try to keep that in mind going forward and judge it accordingly. And I will say that watching the Percy Jackson video, of course, I didn't like the scaling. But dude, whoever does your thumbnail work, if that's you, your thumbnails are incredible. Please let me know who does your thumbnails.
Yeah.
And thumbnail work was really good. I think I made a comment on that last video as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how good it is in this video, but the audio balancing was generally good last video. The edits were okay. They were, there was nothing that that stuck out in my mind, but there was nothing that pissed me off either. Nothing that stuck out in my mind, the positive or negative. It was serviceable to what you were saying, so. We're expecting lesser quality in all of those. Not in a bad way, but just hopefully, this is your first video. So, and I think that's all the preamble we need. You ready?
Yeah, I'm about ready. I'll click start right now.
What's up, guys? Broken Ronin here, and in this video, just like the title and thumbnail suggest, I'll be talking about Ichigo Kurosaki as a main character, and more specifically, how I think he is probably one of the most realistic characters in shonen.
Okay.
I really like the change in wording there that he uses as opposed to what the title of the video says.
Well, and I'm fine with that. He's expanding. He doesn't want to put that full tagline in the title, but we're 5 seconds in or like 10 seconds in?
10, yeah.
Yeah, and he immediately clarifies it's the most realistic main character in shonen, or one of the most realistic main characters in shonen, as he says. I will say, audio sounds very similar to
audio sounds fine.
I'm wondering if most of these visual edits are just gonna be a still of a manga panel zoomed in, scrolling down.
A manga panel.
A manga, but like I don't know if you noticed, but the first two things he showed on screen were two different.
Yeah, it's just a moving image of the
the
cover of a manga. Yeah.
But okay, so now this is what we're saying in the intro of I wonder what qualifier he's going to use, or if he's going to say in fiction or what. One of the most realistic main characters in shonen. So I mean, we were already discussing that. We're talking about a Goku, a Luffy, Naruto, Deku, Yuji. Did the manga come out in 3 years ago?
I mean, it had to have been really close because within that same year he made a video talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. That was his next available video, so I would guess it's probably around the same time.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I think we do get to talk about Yuji, and I wonder if he's going to bring up Yuji in this video. But Yuji's.
If he brings up Yuji in this video, I'm going to get a little bit angry because that means his first and into the future he leans into JJK. Please don't bring up Yuji in this video. I will.
All right. I mean, I think it'll be fine if he does. I just think it'll be interesting that we will never escape JJK on this channel.
Yeah, dude, he literally the bindings of the prison realm for JJK have this man's soul.
Amen. I think he's been able to make a. Oh, okay. No, you're good.
No.
I was gonna say I think he's been able to make a living off it, so why not?
And it's true. Hey, man, if you get your fucking bread, dude, don't listen to us. Fuck us. We don't make money off YouTube.
It's realistic, but I guess more to say that he has a very realistic trait to him that I think I really want to harp on. Not only because
exactly what we were saying before, like the traits he's gonna have. We're not gonna. it would be asinine for us to go, oh, he's a really realistic character, and then you have a glasses emoji, but he shoots Getsuga shows.
Wow, he's really realistic. He walks around with a big sword, and he can see ghosts. And it's yeah. I understand he has powers. Yeah.
I mean, is it really realistic? He carries around a big sword and gets hot women. When I do that, I don't get hot women.
I get sent to jail and mental health hospitals, and it's like, if people were to argue with us earlier when we were talking about Yuji, it's like, yeah, Yuji's really realistic. He breaks Olympic records in the first episode, and he like jumps over barriers and like throws a shot put ball like super far, and like jumps multiple stories. Like, yeah. He is a superhuman, sure. He is realistic in terms of how he reacts.
I'm sorry they have power systems.
Yeah.
I'm sorry these shonen, the characters can do things.
Yeah. Like,
fucking sorry.
Obviously, when we're talking about shonen, we're not. Like, if he were to say the most realistic main character in all anime, you know, and I'm not just talking about how he reacts to things, I'm just talking about everything. People would be like, what about generic X character from slice of life anime, where like Clanad? You know, like, I would have to say, I've never even seen Clanad, but I mean, if there's no powers in it, it's probably more realistic.
That's a crazy statement right there. You haven't watched Clanad?
I haven't watched Clanad, no.
Dude.
I don't watch sad things.
Dude, what the fuck, man? It's like an anime staple.
I know.
It's like saying you haven't watched any Gundam.
Bro, you're the one who showed me all the Gundam.
I know. I'm saying that for the video to get the audience, man.
Oh yeah. Dude, I've seen like 4 mech anime now, dude.
Yeah, how many of those have I shown you?
All of them. Hey guys, you ready to get upset? Neon Genesis Evangelion, some ass, bro. Some ass. No, dude, so bad. So garbage.
The comments are gonna will get really fucking mad at me whenever they're gonna learn that I showed you Gunnsword, and then I showed you Ava. and then
you showed me Gurren Lagann. You buried Ava.
And then the entire time we're watching Ava, I'm getting, man, why can't Shinji just be like Vaughn? Fuck, I hate this guy. And then immediately after Ava, we get, man, fuck, why couldn't Shinji be like Simone? Man, fuck Shinji.
No, dude, yeah, the whole time watching Gurren Lagann, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, Simone. Yes, Shinji get in the fucking mech.
Like,
if Shinji had just got a dude, how many times during watching Gurren Lagann did I go, dude, if Shinji just had a Kamina, bro.
Like, dude, it's so funny because you watch Ava and you're like, man, Gendo Ikari's kind of an asshole. He's making his son get in the mech. And, you know, he's like, doesn't care about his feelings. And then you watch like Gurren Lagann and you're like, no, fuck Shinji. No, I'm with Gendo. Get in the fucking mech, dude.
Get in the fucking, dude, you have a drill. See, if Shinji used a drill, he would have beat the Angels.
Yeah, well, he used a literal soy jackknife.
I am wondering, and I'm sure you might know more about this, but it almost feels like Gurren Lagann is like a direct response to Neon Genesis. Where it's like, because if we think about it, the whole point of Neon Genesis is like, they're in big mechs and the powerful military relying on science, but they have no chance against the powers that they're ultimately abusing, which is like supernatural angels and aliens. And obviously I'm generalizing just in terms of the pure mechanics, not talking about the existential themes. Don't get mad at me, fucking Redditors. And then you have Gurren Lagann, which is like humans who are reduced to tiny populations because if they produce too much energy, they get fucking deleted from existence by God. The spirit of friendship and belief overcomes God, basically. You know, it's almost like you're fighting the same concept.
I mean, there are a couple of videos that really go in depth whenever they're talking about this, but just to give like a really Cliff Notes version, like, so Ava was made during a time period where like it was really avant-garde to be like the edgy, I don't want to do what society wants out of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people that worked on that kind of shared that sentiment because at the time in Japan it was like not super great time. I don't know the exact economics, but I know it wasn't like a great economic period. So that kind of got portrayed in like the entire cultural zeitgeist that was going on at the time. Well, a lot of the people that worked on Ava that had those feelings that got poured into that project to make that really like heavy nihilism, heavy the duties of society, and it doesn't care about my individualism that really lead into it. A lot of those people went on to go and make Gurren Lagann, which is about the individual. It's about the blossoming of creativity and of everything that's beautiful in life. Like it is made almost exclusively as a meta commentary versus the ideas that Ava puts out for itself.
Okay. And there you go. That's the CRS's take on mech anime, talking about Ichigo. But so this isn't really going to be talking about how he's the most.
How the fuck did we get to mech anime from that?
Because we're talking about how I haven't seen Clan Ed, because I was talking about.
Oh yeah,
it's okay.
Right.
I have the logs here. The government doesn't not log anything, dude. Everything we say is being watched by another person, making sure we don't defect. It's just like North Korea in here.
Not true.
Okay, so he's not really going to be talking about he's the most realistic main character in terms of like a competitive nature of fighting other main characters, of how he's more realistic. He said he's going to harp on one of the traits that makes him realistic. Let's play a game show, Trevor, or the Loach. Sorry. Let's play.
No, my name. I'm doxed. No,
You're doxed,
no, they'll know who I am.
Okay, let's play a little game show. All right. So, what trait do we think makes Ichigo one of the most realistic main characters in Shonen? I think it's gonna be something very general, but I'm gonna say something like his empathy. Ichigo's a pretty empathetic person. He's pretty emotionally intelligent, I'd actually say. He's I'm fizzling.
I think it's going to be way more general than that. I think it's just going to be his interactions with other characters feel very normal, human like. I think it's going to be a really milquetoast reason.
Do we think it's going to be something that's on an objective level that we can like go and look at the anime?
No, it's going to be it's going to be a very much, in my opinion.
We'll see. I mean, hopefully it's something that he actually references. I always like that, and this is his first video, so if he's treating this more like things he likes about anime, it's perfectly fine. But we're not really gonna get a whole lot out of that, but we'll see. Let's go ahead. Also, I'm noticing this is like the third or fourth visual in a row where it's just a manga cover, where it's zoomed in, and we're scrolling down.
Is it the third? I thought we were still on the second one.
Hold on, so that's I don't remember. We've been paused for 48 minutes. My brain is melting. That's his first one.
Anime is right around the corner, hopefully at least. But also because I've been seeing a lot of unnecessary hate towards his character, so I felt like this would be an appropriate.
Hold on, what? Really? Okay, hold on. So, okay, there is hate toward his character. Hold on. So we're gonna have to break this down because this is where it's gonna get awkward. No one dislikes Ichigo as a person, like as a what he does or what he says. Like he's not like no one hates Ichigo as characterized. The things that people dislike about Ichigo is that he has. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but he has basically every power set in his universe. Where there's
if he's making a reference to people having a problem with Ichigo having every power set, then that's not people saying he's a bad character or that he's not a realistic character. That's saying that Kubo desperately wanted Ichigo to have access to every power set and didn't care about how piss poor of a narrative that creates.
Right, like, it's less about we dislike Ichigo, and it's more like you're making other characters irrelevant, man. When you make him a fucking, what's Uryu again? I can't remember what it's called.
Quincy.
When you make Ichigo a Quincy, why does Uryu even exist? When you make Ichigo just the most powerful Soul Reaper, even though
you make him a full bring,
when you make him the most
makes
powerful Hollow, basically.
yeah, it's just like
It's like, well, why is
that.
he strong? It's like, well, because his dad is a Soul Reaper, and his mom was like a hollow something. Oh yeah, his mom was a Quincy, but she like it was, the circumstances of her death left like a hollow mark on his soul or some fucking shit. Or I can't remember. Or like she Quincy'd him when she died or something. Where I can't fucking remember. Where it made his chances of surviving hollowification, where he got his like power up much more likely. Like it. And that was a part of Aizen's manipulation of making sure that that happened or something that I can't remember.
Yeah, we really fall into a lot of the problems when it comes to Bleach, which is that Kubo really likes to just cram all the cool stuff into his main character. Like part of what makes a really good shonen is the ability to let your cast breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that a lot of shonen fall into the problem where it just turns into the main character show. Like My Hero is desperately struggling with this at the moment when it comes to the manga and the anime right now because Deku just kind of fucking does everything.
Well, I mean,
Because now he has fucking 9 powers or however fucking many.
Well, I mean, and now it's basically just evolved into a one-on-one between him and Shigaraki. But I think again, One Punch Man addresses this and does it really well. But why do you think most of the anime doesn't really revolve around the main character? Like most of the anime, we're looking at Genos, we're looking at Bang, we're looking at lower level people that aren't able to. When you get to a certain level of power, you're almost less of a character, at least as treated by the approach of writing something. He's less of a character and more of a plot device. That's one of the issues that you run into with Gojo.
Yeah, the later in the series it gets, watching when Ichigo goes to fight somebody, if they're not of an obscene power level where him being basically the child of prophecy doesn't matter, then who cares? Like if Ichigo fought like a medium level threat to him, I wouldn't care. He has to fight max level threats all the time, or I just can't feel invested.
Well, I mean, and that's another problem with, like, say, something like One Piece, where Luffy is now just got the God Fruit, and so unless he fights someone who counters his God Fruit or can outlast,
Spoilers for One Piece post chapter or post episode 1000, but yeah, the moment it gets revealed with the Devil Fruit change for Luffy, immediately, and the moment it's shown that he can turn that on just without any sort of prompting now, like it's just an ability he can use. The immediate level of power scaling that happens to making the fights even feel like they need to, which of course there are One Piece heads that will go, I mean, Oda can just arbitrarily decide any participant in the fight could be equal to Luffy, and it's like, okay, well, that's really shitty writing, but I mean, you're not wrong, I guess.
Well, I mean, let's take what you might consider the sales pitch of episode 1 as it came out in its release date for One Piece. You have a character who is stretchy. Alright, cool. And he wants to be king of the pirates. Alright, cool. Then we get introduced to a couple different devil fruits. And then once you zoom out a little bit, let's say we get like 100 chapters in. Or 300 chapters in. We are introduced to some devil fruits that are like way, just on paper. You look at it and you're like, well, that's way better than Luffy's fruit. Well, that's way better than Luffy's fruit. But Luffy beats these people. Sometimes this fruit counters Luffy's, but are we going to sit around here and say that Crocodile's fruit is worse on paper than Luffy's fruit as introduced? Hey, you can be stretchy and you can't be cut. or you can be immortal and or I guess not immortal, but you can be unable to be hit by anything intangible. You can go through basically any wall with a tiny little crack in it. If you're in a desert, you are unbeatable.
Also, you right there, you making that comment right there about him making the mistake, saying that Luffy can't be cut. I see you. Don't type that. You know what he meant.
Come on, you leave me alone. Of course I know with hockey, but like, isn't it the thing where like
he if you hit him with like a baseball bat and it's not covered in hockey,
oh,
you take
not a sword, not swords. It's the guns, right? It's bullets that don't.
Yeah, any blown object.
Right.
I'm just saying. Hey, yeah, you. Yeah. Delete that. Yeah, press backspace.
Sorry, I'm not.
You thought I wouldn't notice?
I'm not a One Piece guy. Leave me alone.
No, I'm talking to him.
I know. I'm. So am I.
as fingers raised, still pointing at him.
All right, let's get through this. We're almost an hour in.
33 seconds into the video.
All right, let's go.
Now, one thing I quickly want to preface before I die.
Jump Force gameplay.
We'll be okay. We can make it.
We can. I have to say something.
Oh, for people wondering about the quality, we're watching this through a service called Watch Together that allows people to, and this isn't sponsored, but it allows you to watch videos together, and there's nothing I can do about the quality. So, smile.
Yeah. Also, we're not giving YouTube any advertisement money. Yeah, fuck you, Susan.
No. I'm just playing.
Depth of realism is
Trevor,
the fact that just because you have
they pay us eventually.
They don't pay us. They don't pay us right now.
I know, but they will eventually, dude.
I'll take it back. I will apologize the day we get a check from them.
That'll be in the contract. Hey, we're withholding advertisement until you apologize for the 57-minute mark.
No, okay, you know what? I will say this now. The moment we get any sort of check from YouTube, I will put in the next available video. I will apologize to Susan.
Yeah, and you have to pronounce her last name, and you have to do it right. All right.
Should be an appropriate time to really talk about Ichigo. Now, one thing I quickly want to preface before I dive really into the depth of his realism is the fact that just because you have an aspect of your character that is especially good, like for example, Ichigo is very realistic, that also has a major drawback, which is that he can be easily perceived as a boring or uninteresting character. And while I personally never was bored of Ichigo...
See, I'm not a super big fan of this because you've gone into this video and you have not given any tangible examples of how he's realistic.
Yeah, you've proven nothing.
All you said is that he is realistic, and some people can view it as boring.
But he's saying he's prefacing it, so I guess the idea is he's saying that him being realistic doesn't make him boring. So assuming that he's able to prove that going forward, he's trying to get ahead of that criticism, I guess. But yeah, I think this is just and you know, this is his first video, but I think this is just a level of you really are desperate to defend the character because I think you like it and it's a little bit of insecurity. If you think the character's good, just talk about what you like about the character. And if the references are there and you're able to do it well, then people will be convinced. You don't have to worry about all the different little problems they're gonna have with Ichigo. It's okay. Hey man, you're not gonna convince the people that hate Ichigo. What you can do is you can...
You're not making this video for the people who dislike him.
Yeah, the people who hate Ichigo are not really going to click on this video and come into it willing to be convinced. You're trying to convince the people that haven't seen Bleach, and maybe they go see Bleach and they like it, and you're trying to foster more appreciation in the community that watches. So, you're trying to foster more appreciation for Bleach and for Ichigo. With the people that like it, or with, you're trying to get new fans with the people that are neutral. Don't worry about all the different little problems that they're going to have, because you could do this a million different ways. And I want to preface this by saying that him being realistic, some people will say that he is like. The thing is, I don't think anybody's going to go, him being realistic makes him boring. It's hard for me to think of a negative. Someone being realistic means they're relatable. It means they're understandable, that you can, you kind of know what they're going to do based on what situation they're placed in. And that kind of makes it interesting to think about things in their head about, what ifs and theories in the series. It's kind of a mark of a bad character when you're like, what do you think Ichigo would do if he's in this situation? And you're like, well, I have no fucking idea, because Ichigo does random shit. But if it's like, no, Ichigo would do this and this and this kind of thing.
I mean, the part of the thing that I think of also is, like, I don't think there's anyone that's going, he's so realistic, he's boring. I think that they're just saying, he's boring.
Well, I think, again, we're getting around the big criticism of, when people are saying Ichigo is boring, they're not talking about him being realistic. They're talking about him having every power in the universe, man.
Yeah, I really don't think they're going, oh man, Ichigo's so boring. He pays his taxes and he goes to school. There are plenty of characters who do realistic things. I just struggle to find exactly what you're referencing on him being this realistic type character, which is causing people to call him boring. I mean, we'll probably get into it. Like, we're 55 seconds into the video and we're already prefacing this. We're prefacing this preface. But let's continue.
Alright, just in time.
Ichigo's character and never really got bored of him. I can understand from like a semi-objective point of view how many people could consider boring, and I am not.
Okay, so here's the issue with that, and I think we're just gonna get into objectivity versus subjectivity. There's not. Boring is a very hard one to talk about when it comes to objective. When normally when you say something's boring, you usually want to use a better word. So in terms of power scaling, you would say Ichigo having so many powers ruins my investment, and it's hard to generate stakes. What they mean is, I'm fucking bored because I know he's going to win. But that doesn't tell them anything. When you're more specific and you go, it's hard for me to get invested in the stakes of a fight when I know Ichigo is probably going to win from the outset unless some random bullshit is generated to stop the fact that he has every power. That's... and when people are talking about he's boring from a character perspective, what they mean is he usually is not inciting change within his own story. He's just reacting to things that happen to him, and his reactions are either very mild or very uninteresting or very unsatisfying. Very rarely they're talking about, well, he's boring from an objective sense because he's realistic. What you find boring or fun or interesting is very subjective. You kind of have to use better words than that. Boring is... there's not a way for me to objectively say that's not boring, because the comeback is just always, well, I found it, I was bored when I watched it. So what am I supposed to do against that?
Yeah, I feel like the straw man that he was posting up to be the big thing we're arguing against is not really made of the most sturdy material.
Main character, I actually like even like the characters. Like I have many main characters that I rank above him. So I just want to preface this with, he's not the best main character in Shonen in my opinion, or in manga. He's not even the best character in his series. But I really want to talk about.
Not even the best character in his series. Who? Okay.
He's obviously going to say an Aizen, or he's going to say, or Himi's titties.
I mean, if he's a goat, he'll say Chad.
I was about to say Chad's my favorite character because I'm a human with a soul.
Dude, I love that he becomes a boxer and just beats the fuck out of people. Just normal people.
About this good aspect that I think Ichigo has to. Now, when I say realism or the most realistic character in the context of this video, what I mean is that Ichigo Kurosaki as a character and as a human being within the world of Bleach, although he's not fully human, what I mean by that is essentially that he is closest to what a real-life human being, your regular 15 or 16-year-old person, your regular 15 or 16-year-old, your adolescent, a teenager, if you will, would be.
Yeah, okay.
Mainly, that comes from one.
Synonym.
I know what a fucking 15-year-old is.
This pubescent, adolescent, young adult.
Although in Japan, of the age of consent,
This fledgling young man.
this young buck.
Just climbed out of the nest, ready to get out of the roost.
An aspect of Easter, or more like
This
something that
manling.
doesn't do or doesn't have that many other characters do, and that's this massive, overarching, insane goal that most like shonen characters have. For example, Naruto wants to become the Hokage even though he's at the bottom of his village. Deku wants to become the #1 hero even though at the start of the series he had no quirk. Asta was a magicless, talentless peasant that wanted to become the Wizard King. Luffy wants to find the One Piece, right? All of these are some examples.
Pause. Pause. Luffy doesn't really give a fuck about the One Piece. Luffy only cares about the... I'm not even a One Piece guy, and I know this. Luffy doesn't actually really give a fuck about the One Piece. It's just that finding the One Piece is a thing that signifies you as the Pirate King. He wants to be king of the pirates.
Luffy does care about the One Piece in the sense that finding the One Piece means you'll be the pirate.
That's
king.
that's what I mean. If for example, if being the king of the pirates meant you destroy Marineford, then Luffy would want to destroy Marineford. He wouldn't give a fuck about, like, for example, if Goldie Roger's treasure actually existed, but everyone said, man, if your crew was able to take down Marineford by yourself, you would be the king of the pirates, and that would be Luffy's goal. He wouldn't give a fuck about Goldie Roger's treasure. Maybe that'd be a side quest for him, but Luffy's goal is to be king of the pirates, first and foremost.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Yeah, he is after because him getting the One Piece is literally just tangential to him being the king of the pirates.
Well, yeah, like if Luffy is willing to do whatever is on the checklist, not to the top of the checklist, or like the title of the checklist isn't find the One Piece, it's become the Pirate King. The finding the One Piece is at the very last step of becoming the Pirate King. But that's
we're gonna put an asterisk right here. It still has not been revealed yet what Luffy's true ambition is from that one chapter where he references it, and it's not brought up again.
Yeah, this is obviously going off of what we know now, and I'm not even a One Piece guy, but for example, I think if we were to look through the manga and the anime, I would wonder what phrase appears much more often. I'm going to be king of the pirates, or I'm going to find the One Piece. I think Luffy says one way more often than the other, and I think that is a reflection of what he actually cares about.
That's a good point.
I make a few of those, partner.
Every once in a while.
All right, let's go. We got some video to chomp through.
Large goals that they are reaching for, and Ichigo, if you've read or watched Bleach, as you can tell, doesn't have that type of goal. Now, some people could see this as a drawback. Some people could see.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I see exactly where we're coming from. Every major arc, the goal is really only isolated to that arc.
Well, and it's usually not as a result of Ichigo's ambition. It's, Ichigo has a person he cares about that is taken or is threatened, or is, he has people or a town that's threatened, kind of thing. But
yeah, whenever it comes to his stuff, he's always very reactionary as opposed to going and pursuing a goal.
Now, I mean, Yuji is a great example of someone else who's like that. But again, this isn't really something I would say makes him more realistic. Are there not people with crazy, ridiculous goals that are willing to do anything to strive toward them in real life that people, can either relate to as they're on that same journey or maybe aspire to be, you know? How many people has Goku inspired to do martial arts? And you might laugh, but there's plenty of people in martial arts that would say, watching anime is the reason I wanted to be a martial artist or wanted to be in UFC or
you have
MMA.
you have the direct throw line, which is Rock Lee and Israel Adesanya.
I was just about to bring him up, yeah. That was going to be my first example. He literally does Rock Lee poses when he does like weigh-ins and shit. But yeah, I think there's plenty of relatability. I don't think saying one is more realistic than the other. Again, it's not about the power sets or about really the character goals, because I don't even think Goku is a realistic character, but tell me Goku's goal. Goku just wants to be stronger. Than who? Than me, bro. Like, I want to be stronger than I was yesterday. That's all I care about. I just want to be stronger. I want to be stronger. I want to get stronger. That's all. That's his goal. It's not. It takes him to lofty heights, but that was. If you asked Goku at age 7, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" He's like, "I want to be a strong fighter." He doesn't. He wouldn't have cared about fighting like some gods or whatever, or some aliens from outer space. That was never on his radar. And I don't even think Goku's that realistic of a character in how he responds. I think that's actually kind of the point. Goku's quite literally brain damaged. He doesn't react to things the way a normal person would. That's what makes him fun and makes him heroic and kind of goofy and funny. That's why you have humans that kind of surround him that kind of react to situations more akin to how we would. You know, if we were actually there. The way Bulma screams whenever there's a big blast going off, if I was actually there, I'd probably be freaking out. So, you know, little stuff like that, but...
Yeah, I think this is a very, very strange way of trying to justify his realism.
Yeah, I don't think it's the scale of his goal. Again, if we're going to call Ichigo a realistic character, I would have to say Ichigo usually responds to the situations he's in the way I was. If I was given level 1 big, like, Soul Reaper powers, and I was like, oh man, this is kind of fun, and, you know, I'm actually kind of good at it. Even the person I'm with, who has been in the know for a while, has told me and acknowledged that I have a natural talent for this. And also, I owe her my life, and she's the reason I even have these powers. And I've just been told that she's going to be executed for saving me. Well, I mean, I might be encouraged to go save her. That's something I can relate to.
Yeah, and like, yeah, she's been living around you as well. So you've been like associating with her a lot. You've gotten really friendly with her. Like,
I mean, she's literally been living in your bedroom, in your closet. So you've gotten to know her on an extreme level. If you don't have any romantic feelings for her, which, I mean, whew, dude, she's my type. But anyway, you would at least be like, she'd be probably one of your closest friends by this point. I mean, who else would understand your real life at this point where, you know, she's the person you're sharing half of your life with when you're going on a soul reaping and journeys. You know, you can't tell anyone else at school or any of your family members at the time that. So, I mean...
Also, come on, dude. Trying to tell me that Ichigo acts like a fucking 15-year-old. Get the fuck out of my face, bro.
Well, I mean, it's the generic anime thing of, I'm just an average 16-year-old high school student in Japan, and just shows like
25-year-old.
Well, yeah, or like I think it's funny where it's like Baki's like, I'm just an average 13-year-old.
Yeah, actually, it's just like I'm just gonna do my middle school training, bro. Weighs like 180 pounds, 6'3", shredded.
Yeah, I think I almost want to be like, oh yeah, Broken Ronin, post physique when you were 15, bro. Were you built like Ichigo? Do we need to remind people that Ichigo is like casually beating up adult street thugs when he's 15 as he's
calling the ambulance for them? like, hey, dude, I'm not okay. I'll tell you right now, I didn't fucking look like Ichigo whenever I was 15. No fucking way.
Well, I mean, look, if we're going to be honest, the first chapter, I actually did read some of the early chapters of Bleach. The first chapter of Bleach, I was like, well, Ichigo's like something's special about him because one, he can see ghosts, but two, he seems to be stronger and faster. Okay, maybe I was just not new to anime. I was new to anime tropes when I first read Bleach because I'm much more of a fiction guy. I can talk to you about Lord of the Rings. I can talk to you about the Aragon series or the Harry Potter series or the Fablehaven series. I'm really into that kind of shit. Or the Redwall series, but so in a book, when one character fights two larger men than him by himself, that's usually like, oh wow, he has a whole lot of training, or he's, gifted in some way. And I am not used to maybe conventional shonen tropes, so when I saw chapter 1, this 15-year-old walking in a graveyard, fighting two grown men by himself, calling the ambulance for them, and then talking to what seems to be a nice little girl, and then she is revealed to be a ghost. Well, one, I'm like, okay, well, he's supernatural in at least one way, probably in another, because it's not normal for you to just be able to fight two men by yourself. Or if they're not men, if someone's like, they're not actually men, they're two teenagers. Guys, numbers usually matter. Two people usually beat one person. Usually.
Hey, how about you try it? How about you go try to fight two people?
Hey, you know what? Anyone that wants to debate that and say it's actually not that hard to fight two people, I know two people that can challenge you on that statement. If you would like.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, just come here. We'll fucking jump the fuck out of you. And then if you beat us, we'll pin your comment that you beat us.
But I really feel like it's going to turn into a UG.
We get Conor McGregor.
Yeah, hold on. For any professional fighters, I reserve the right to use weapons.
Yeah, fucking Conor McGregor going, oh, he's just a case lad.
Well, because remember, this is a street fight where these Japanese students could have had switchblades and knives. So here's the thing. If you do accept this challenge and you are like a professional fighter, I reserve the right to stab you 17 times and take your money. Because this is a street fight where I'm robbing you.
Yeah, it's a street fight. You also have to dress up like Ichigo in the first episode. Dye your hair.
We have to just fully recreate it. And then if you hurt me, as promised, you have to pay for my hospital bills and call an ambulance for me.
well, no. You have to pre-call the ambulance, and then you have to beat us up before it gets there.
Oh, dude, that's actually... I forgot about that. Is that more... Nah, that can't be more disrespectful than bringing a shovel to a fight, but that's up there. Alright, it's... Dude, every time I look at how long we've been recording, I'm like, oh, I feel kind of guilty, but you know what you signed up for when you came here. This be more of a podcast than a reaction channel, me lad. You sailed into unfamiliar and honest and dishonest waters. We done got you. You're an hour in. You be invested.
You already done your parlay.
Alright, let's go.
This has a lack of motivation for the character, and I really
Sorry,
think that's
Pirate
a
Me took over for a second. I saw Luffy on the screen.
I don't think Ichigo's a person or character that lacks motivation. I think he's just written to be something much more realistic, much more down to earth, and much more, I guess...
Well, it's not that Luffy... Oh, it's not that Luffy... It's not that Ichigo doesn't have motivation. It's that Ichigo, in the time that we encounter him in the first chapter, is content in his daily life. Ichigo goes to school, he has friends, he even has a few girls that are probably interested in him. He goes home, he helps out around the hospital as much as he can because he's not really the most helpful, but anything he can do to help, he will. It says Oklahoma on the screen. What the fuck? Oklahoma Smash, but it's like, I heard the Miguel sound in my fucking head. And on his occasional nights out, he's able to help the spirits that he can perceive. He's content in his daily life. I sure hope nothing interrupts his life like a giant fucking monster attacking his home. That would be lame.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting to the point where it's like you're kind of like portraying what is the
designated appeal of Bleach, which is he's a relatively normal high school kid that gets put into a situation where he has to deal with the supernatural.
Well, and like, I think what is kind of funny about this is your insecurity in trying to defend Ichigo. I actually think is doing Ichigo a disservice. Like, I'm saying like too often, but when you have people that aren't familiar with Ichigo or Bleach who are just coming to the video maybe to be convinced, or then you have people that are really big fans of the series that are just wanting to see some cool things they didn't notice or remember about Ichigo, and then you say things that are either, I won't say wholly incorrect, but at least not quite true. You are actually misrepresenting Ichigo to these people. People that have never seen the series might hear this and go, oh, he's realistic and he doesn't really have a whole lot of goals. Well, that's probably just not for me, even if it's good. And I just don't think that's fair to Ichigo. When you say he doesn't really have any goals, it's technically true, but I really wish you would elaborate in the sense that Ichigo's in a point, like, this is the hero's journey. Ichigo's at a point of rest where he needs something to be acted upon in order to move and change and try to grow. I don't know. This is classic the call, the refusal of the call kind of thing. I don't know.
Like, the thing is, like, with the title of the video that you're doing, almost feels like you're giving this character a level of reverence. But the content you're putting in this video feels like you're backpedaling the reverence that you're putting in your title.
Well, yeah, it's turning into let's appreciate Ichigo and how realistic and well written he is, and then the actual content that's being delivered is almost feeling like it's Ichigo apologetics. Like, hey man, you don't have to apologize for liking Ichigo. He's cool. Katsugo Tensho, big black laser go brrr. It's fine. I like Ichigo. There's no, you don't have to make it like, I want to preface this by saying that, you know, when you hear realistic, you might think boring, and I mean, I understand why you might think that from an, you know, objectively, maybe he is boring, and, you know, and maybe that's because a lot of other main characters in shonen have these big lofty goals and these crazy goals, you know, like, and brings up examples, but Ichigo really doesn't. It's like, hey man, you don't have to apologize.
I feel like the more you do that, I feel like you're giving validity to the people that are saying
those
things.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, how you're doing him a disservice, because saying that, it doesn't sound like you like Ichigo that much, man.
Or it sounds like the audience you're talking to, you're expecting to get fucking hit for saying that you like him.
Yeah, like, dude, no one's gonna hurt you. You're all right. Hey, Broken Ronin from the past, I'm glad that you got your audience and that you know people aren't just gonna fucking punch you when you say the wrong thing, dude.
Yeah, I'm happy this video got out here and you didn't get, like, relentlessly bullied for liking Ichigo, and I'm happy you were able to find success in your channel. I'm actually really happy for you on that.
Yeah,
and I say that with absolutely zero sarcasm.
Well, yeah, and, like, you know, past Broken Ronin, I know that you're probably a little bit shaky when you hit that publish button, and look at you now, dude. Aren't you glad you did it?
Yeah, look how much stronger you are now.
Alright, let's continue.
Than many other people would like to perceive him to. Because keep in mind, right, if I'm arguing about Ichigo being a great protagonist from a realistic standpoint, you have to realize that 99% of people you find do not yell out and declare their hopes and dreams at the top of their lungs just out of randomness. The same way Naruto yells out in the middle of a village that I want to become the Hokage, the same way that Luffy demands that he's going to find the One Piece, the same way that Deku cries out to become the #1 hero.
Well, okay,
that's not something
hold on. So the issue with that is going to be that most of the time that these characters are doing that, it's not randomly out of nowhere. They're usually introducing themselves, and I will say in Japan, it's a little bit more common. It's a little bit more common to introduce yourself and what you want to do or what you like. It's somewhat more common. but usually this is a setting where they're like, "Who are you? What do you even want, kid?" And then Luffy would go, "I'm Luffy, and I'm gonna be king." Luffy is gonna declare that every time he meets someone because that's what he wants people to think about Luffy.
Oh, I'm fighting an opposing pirate who also wants to be the king of the pirates. I will make my declaration of what I'm going to do.
And usually when Naruto is saying, "I'm gonna be the Hokage," it's in response to someone deriding him or someone underestimating him or making fun of him. Naruto's not just saying it randomly. Naruto's saying it as a comeback. Oh yeah? You think I'm shitty because I can't pass this exam? I'm gonna be the Hokage one day. I'll show you. That's it. It's not just random. Like, again, it feels like you're doing a disservice to these characters. I'm not even a big defender of like declaring your big goal trope, but this isn't just like a random declaration of hopes. And there are people that most definitely do that. I mean, are we going to talk about oh yeah, you're bullying me? I'm going to be a future Marine officer one day. I'll show you. Or how many kids have said, "I'm going to be president one day"? You know, like, plenty of kids have said, "I'm going to be X thing and then I'll show you," when they're, you know.
Oh man, Ichigo's so realistic. When he sees a naked woman, he looks away instantly and gets mad.
When he sees naked Yorichi, he tells her to put her clothes on. She got me on my goddamn mind.
This 15-year-old doesn't want to look at naked women. Bro, he's so realistic. He's just like me.
When I tell you, if I was Ichigo in that hot tub in that moment and Yorichi did that,
yeah, the moment that she's like, "How about you join me?" It's like,
yes, I was going to, but it was
shit.
Here's the problem. The thing, I was going to just on instinct when I saw you, and when you didn't run away or like freak out when I saw you, and I saw you. But the invitation is all I needed. Shit.
Nah, dude. I don't want to look at naked women. Fuck that.
Nah, I'd hit.
I'd run.
Alright.
One, because it's just considered weird, and two, many people don't have goals that are as lofty as that. If you really look at it,
I'm glad you just expanded more. Also, nice pause. But it was really gonna be funny if it was most people don't have goals, and I'm just like, damn, the absolute state. Why'd you unpause and repause, dude? You didn't want to get the All Might ass?
To real life, all of these goals are extremely lofty. They're essentially some of the pinnacle of what you could be within that verse, right? Imagine every single human being trying to be the pinnacle of humanity. It
would be awesome. We would be so much better off. Holy shit. Can you imagine, Loach, if every human on Earth wanted to be the pinnacle of their field of their thing?
Yeah, it'd be so much better. But like, now that I'm thinking about it, actually, now that I think about it even more, by his logic, Gon would be more realistic than Ichigo.
Yeah, and the whole point of Gon is that he's not normal.
Well, also the fact that all Gon wants to do is just meet his dad.
Well, yeah, which, how many of us can relate to that, right?
Like, I feel like that's much more of a realistic goal.
Well, the point of Gon is that you relate to his goals so strongly that it takes you a little bit to notice that something's not quite right with that boy.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying just by like the logic he's using, I feel like Gon would make a more realistic character, you know?
Well, I mean, I was kind of waiting on this pocket pick because I didn't want to have to go too deep into it. But Okabe, I think, is like, one of the great realistic main characters, because you're like, oh well,
I was trying to keep it to shonen.
Right, but just for a little bit, let's go down this excursion because I like this. When you hear Steins Gate and you know of it, you're like, well, he's not that realistic. He wants to be a crazy mad scientist and rule the world, and it's like, well, when you actually understand what's going on with the persona of Hoin Kyoma, he's cosplaying. It's a performance. Because when his childhood friend was really young, her grandma, who's basically her mom and very, very close to her, died. And so he kind of adopted this persona as almost like a game to keep her distracted and to keep her happy and, grounded. And so she was his hostage, and he was this evil, mad scientist that was capturing her and going to take over the world. And so the secret lab got started with that, which is really just a club that when they're not busy with work or life, they hang out here because it's better than being by themselves. And then they stumble upon something when he's doing basically shitty backwards magic and going to a professor's lecture and stumbles upon something way bigger than he thought. Like, he's pretty realistic in terms of how he reacts to the information he's given and when he's given it, and him being all melodramatic is all in service of his care for a friend, which, I think there's plenty of people that can relate to the lengths to which they'll go to keep a depressed friend from going off the deep end. So yeah, that's my little mini essay on why Okabe is actually one of my favorite main characters of all time, and if people think he's annoying, you just don't get it, and you should fix your life.
You should get a fucking clue.
Yeah, you should just read a book.
How many books have you read?
Right? That's something that's just simply unrealistic, and that doesn't make those protagonists bad by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's fiction. It's perfectly fine for them to be exaggerated to great extent.
Thank God. All right, we got the pass.
From their realism.
For a second there, I thought we were gonna have to cancel them.
Being a 16-year-old male, I'm just out of that age demographic at 17, so I feel like I kind of...
He's a young buck, dude.
17. Okay, that's a really good video for 17. Hey,
hey, you know what? And you're like, what, 20 now? And, man, you're living a pretty good life for a 20-year-old, and
oh yeah, no, dude, you're actually fucking kicking ass for a 20-year-old. Hope, but no,
yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hey, yeah, man, good for you. Yeah, it's going. Just good job.
Yeah, no, a little pop off for you. I'm super happy that you found your niche, you found your audience, and you're actually doing really well for yourself. That's really fucking good, man.
Yeah.
No, keep up the grind. I hope it keeps working out for you.
We're not gonna go easier on you now that, if anything, we go harder on children. I'm gonna edit that. I'm gonna fix that.
Man, that was the fastest back down from a joke I have ever heard.
No,
dude, you backpedaled from that one like you thought you were about to get canceled.
I felt the Twitter drones. Like I felt like I felt President Biden like flip a switch under his desk, and like I heard whirring as like a computer drone was sent to my house, dude.
Like you felt the eye of Kamala Harris, like the eye of Sauron.
Well, what happened is that agent I mentioned earlier who watches us to make sure he defected, I saw him like lean into his earpiece.
I just eyebrow raised for a second, and you just started sweating.
Here in a second, I'm gonna have to go to use the bathroom. I'm gonna come back like, "Hello, friends. It's me, Cosmos.
I have returned."
All right, let's keep going.
I've been there before, you could say, so I feel like I'm kind of qualified to talk about this.
Okay. I think it's just funny to say, like, well, I'm qualified to talk about this. After all, I'm 17. I've been 15 and 16. Like,
hey, join the club, man.
Hey, man. It's just... It's almost like the argument is like, if you're 14, not allowed to argue against me.
Listen here, little guy. Next year, you'll know what I'm talking about.
The 15 and 16-year-olds up and up only. It's just funny. It's not a criticism. I just think it's funny. We can keep going.
Most of us don't have these extreme dreams yet. Most of us don't even know what we want to do. We're kind of like just floating out in the stratosphere of life, trying to figure out what's happening, where we're gonna go in the next few years, what being an adult is like. And while Ichigo doesn't necessarily struggle with those ideas, he definitely comes off as a character that doesn't have these extremely in-depth
Bro, if you're not gonna use that as part of your reference for your argument, why bring it up?
Also, this video isn't that long, and I feel like you haven't given us the things that you like about him that make him realistic.
The only points I fucking heard so far is He doesn't have a lofty goal, and I was 15 once.
But
Word salad.
I feel like this is where we want to get into when you're doing these kinds of video essays. First of all, make a script. Second of all, redraft it. Do you really need 35 seconds to talk about him not having a goal? And your visuals do improve later. I'm glad well, we'll have to see, but I really hope it doesn't take you long to get away from the jump force gameplay for most of your visuals. I kind of understand you kind of want anime related, flashy stuff on screen, but man, it's just kind of distracting.
He was early on in his editing career. He probably just didn't have time to do like the full edit stuff. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for the jump force content.
Also, this fucking this
Pixels.
God, dude, the quality's so bad. Push play. We gotta hide it.
Lofty motivations, right? Which it can be interpreted as bad or good depending on where you're looking at it. From a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view, this can be viewed as bad or good, bro. What
is
your opinion?
How into this video are we?
5 of 9.
Oh no.
Like,
I thought we were like 2 minutes in.
Like, dude, I want anything to. I'm starving over here.
Please, sir, can I have some content?
Give me something aside from. I feel that maybe both sides have an opinion that could be viewed as
from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view, on a demographic that I was a part of.
Because I was 15 once. All right, come on.
It is less interesting than having a super lofty goal. It gives him a more defined path, you could say. But on the other hand, like I've been arguing within the realm of this video, it gives him a sense of realism.
You haven't been arguing. You've been saying buzzwords over and over again. There's been no argument. And
yeah, again, this doesn't give him a sense of realism. It's something you can relate to. People can relate to having goals. I'm sorry.
Also, well, no, he's saying people can relate to not having goals.
I know, but that's what as a counter to him, that's what I'm saying. You relate to Ichigo more than other protagonists. It doesn't make him more realistic. But anyway.
It makes Ichigo relatable. He's just, at the end of the day, a chill person. He loves his friends. He loves his family. But besides that, Ichigo won't really go out of his way to do very many things. Like, he's not like a character who strives every day to become stronger for the sake of this Hokage-like goal, King of the Pirates-like goal, or whatever you really want to say. Ichigo is just a person who is existing and is kind of figuring out who he is along the way. And honestly, it's pretty interesting to see what
again, this is just, I feel like you're doing a disservice to Ichigo. Ichigo's not trying to figure out what he wants to do. Ichigo is perfectly happy in his life. Ichigo could do what he's doing in episode 1 for the rest of his life and be okay. That's kind of the point. Ichigo's life is perfectly happy. He goes to school, he has friends, he has girls that are kind of interested in him. He walks home. If he sees a spirit that needs help, he helps him if he can. He goes home and he helps his sisters at the hospital as much as he can. He goes to sleep. He has a normal, happy family home life. The main thing that troubles him is seeing his mom die in front of him, and he doesn't really know why that happened. That's kind of how we meet Ichigo Chapter 1. That could be his life for the rest of his life if a giant fucking monster doesn't try to attack him that night.
Yeah, it's not like he feels the call of adventure, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Again, I don't disagree with the essence of what you're saying, but man, I'm almost like, I feel sorry for the people that have never seen Bleach that are getting their first introduction to Bleach from this video. Because, God, you are not doing him any justice. Like, it was such a weird video to be like, this is a video that's going to be praising Ichigo, and I'm coming away with like, hey man, can you stop shitting on Ichigo? But,
I mean, can you take a side that you don't immediately give backbone to the opposite side of the argument?
And I feel like he's trying to be fair, but I don't I don't know what you think other than I relate to Ichigo because he doesn't have any goals.
And I was 15.
And I was 15. And I don't have any goals and I was 15.
Do you relate with Ichigo?
Dude, he's just like me for real.
Bro, he's just like me.
Alright,
You read it from that point of view. When you look at Ichigo as a character who essentially has been thrust into battle and is kind of going through this like pubescent stage of not only literally being in the middle of puberty as a teenager, but as a Soul Reaper, as a Hollow, and that's a whole nother video. But
that you'll never make.
You can look at.
He might have made it.
I don't think we saw. But anyway, I mean, we'll see.
Ichigo's transformations and progression from Soul Reaper to Hollow to something else that I won't spoil for all you anime onlys that haven't read the manga. Okay. You can kind of interpret that as a way of Ichigo quite literally going through puberty in two senses, as a human and as all of these other species that exist within the verse. And I feel like that's something that's pretty interesting. I feel like that's something that's downplayed within the Bleach community sometimes, and even outside of the community, a lot of people like to just say he's very one-note, one-dimensional. But I think there is more depth to Ichigo's character as a whole than people give him credit for. Like I said, he doesn't have these extreme motivations. While he is still willing to fight for his friends, right? He is still willing to fight for what he believes in. He's not someone who is overly exaggerated, and as such, this realism makes him stand out from the crowd. I would say he's probably the most unique from that standpoint, at least in the big three. He stands out quite a bit from Luffy and Naruto in the sense where he's much more grounded, he's much more realistic, and you could say that his development kind of comes from these battles. Most shonen protagonists do.
I mean, I feel like we need to say something here, but he keeps saying the same stuff, so it's hard to. This is where we get to. We're not talking because it's good. We're not talking because we have already covered all of this. But again, you haven't proven he's more grounded, more realistic.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was getting really uncomfortable letting the video play there for so long, but
there's only so many times we can say, you've said that before, that doesn't prove he's realistic, it just means that you relate to him. Will you please just reference something in the manga, like a panel, that's like, here, Ichigo finds out this, he reacts like this, other character, this isn't a hard thing to prove. You're just refusing to put in the legwork, and I feel like you're just going to rant at me for 9 minutes and end the video. And that's really irritating.
Battle-oriented series do. But I think the way Ichigo develops is a little bit different. He's developing his mind. He's developing...
Are you trying to tell me that Bleach isn't also battle-orientated?
I was about to say, he's developing his mind. It's like, isn't most of One Piece about mindset affecting your strength and your ability to get stronger in the world? And I mean, JJK very heavily has mindset being a barrier to getting stronger. This is very weird. The idea of saying that Luffy and Naruto don't progress mentally throughout the series is kind of strange.
I mean, at this point, the only thing that he's proven so far is that Ichigo is different than Luffy and Naruto just because he doesn't have a lofty goal that he progresses towards, and he's rather thrust into the environment that he's in.
And it's crazy how you said that in one sentence, and we're 6 minutes into this 9-minute video, and that's all he said. But yeah, I mean, that's the one thing he said that's objectively true. Yes, Ichigo is different than the other two protagonists in terms that he doesn't have a long-term overarching goal.
But that doesn't make you more realistic.
It doesn't, because there are plenty of people that have lofty goals for themselves. Again, I want you to walk through a middle school and ask these middle schoolers what they want to do. They're going to be much less realistic goals than a high schooler you talk to or a college student you talk to. People's scope shrink down as they specialize or find the things that they are meant to do. You're going to find much less college students you're going to find much fewer high school students that say, I want to be an astronaut, than elementary school students. When kids are really small, they dream big, and we want them to do that. But again, there are going to be a lot of middle schoolers that you talk to that go, I want to be president when I grow up. I want to be I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. I want to be in blah 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 when I grow up. Like all these big. I want to be in the Olympics when I grow up. I want to be in the NFL when I grow up. Like, when my brother was a little kid, he wanted to play for the Raiders in the NFL, and he wanted me to get good at football so I could play in the NFL. And he wanted to be like the next Peyton and Eli Manning brothers. That is a dream he had when he was like 9. Little kids have big, crazy, lofty dreams. And in Japan, the cartoons with the cool characters fighting and screaming their big goals, they are usually geared for younger audiences than the actual age of the main character. Because little kids want a character they can look up to. It's fine to have younger main characters. Like Naruto, for example, is a small little kid, so most little kids kind of like they can relate to Naruto, even though he's older than maybe his height gives off. But I don't think, at least in from an anime, not a manga point of view, but from an anime point of view, most of the time the audience is going to be a younger demographic than the actual age of the main character. I doubt that when Funimation or Fuji TV is putting out Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, that they're like, yeah, 15-year-olds are going to be our main audience. Maybe that's true, but I would say like a little bit younger range, like the 9 to 13-year-old range. But this is all to say that having a lofty goal doesn't make you more realistic.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's one of those things that it goes either way because both of them are equally as realistic.
Well, I mean, it's not even equally realistic. It's because it's not the right word that I want to use here. It's you can relate to either of these things. And people are like, well, you can relate to any character. Not necessarily. That's a mark of bad writing. If there's... Usually, what makes a character relatable is not just... And again, Ichigo loses his relatability as a series goes on because of things that happen in the series. Because now it's no longer about a normal kid thrust into circumstances he can't understand. It's this guy who just has the keys unlocked, handed to him to the universe, and he can beat anything because he has all the powers. And it's hard for me to relate to that. Luffy is someone... I wanted to say Luffy, but never mind. Naruto is someone... Yeah, Naruto is someone I can relate a lot more toward. Here's someone who just worked really, really, really hard and overcame challenges until he got stronger. That's something that you can relate to. Again, we're gonna reiterate this point, and I wonder how many times we're gonna have to pause and say we've done this before. But yeah, I don't like using the phrase more realistic. It's just they're equally relatable. You can see both of these characters and go, I see both of those points. You know, I get it.
Yeah, I guess we're getting down the nitty gritty of just using the term realistic is just not a great word for this.
Well, yeah, because when we're talking about realistic, we're trying to apply it to real life. So when we say realistic, we want to say, it's very awkward when you're talking about a shonen, but you would have to do like, they are realistic in ways in which they speak. Like, their dialogue is realistic. I feel like a person would say that if they were in that situation. You know, even given, you know, or I'm a big fan of the word consistent. So a lot of the times when people say that character's more realistic to me, what they actually mean, but they don't know they mean it, is this character is more consistent. When a character consistently does things that follow from what we know about them in new situations, you know, character does this in X situation, and we're like, oh, okay, so he makes that choice. Then character gets a tangentially related situation, but it's a little bit different. You know, it kind of steps on the edge a little bit, and the character makes X decision. You go, oh, well, that tells me a little bit more. Not only is he willing to do this thing, but he does it under this situation. And as you keep doing that, as long as the character starts towing a consistent line, maybe in certain situations he doesn't do the thing, in certain situations he does, you start to develop a pattern of, oh, I can see a follow through of character will do this in this situation, but will do this in this situation, and then he won't do that, and I mean, you can take when Luffy decides to fight someone seriously. There's a difference between when Luffy is fighting someone for fun and he's just doing it to either make himself stronger or maybe enjoy the moment, and when Luffy is fighting someone to kill them or to stop them. I think there's a line that has usually been drawn, and I think the easy one that's to draw is don't hurt his friends or don't hurt the main character's friends. That can be an easy one. You can have a very morally gray or even morally bad character that still has some kind of line like that. And I think that can make them more interesting and, again, more realistic, because not everyone is going to have the same moral code, but a lot of people are going to not be okay with you hurting the people they spend the most amount of time with.
Who he is, what he's willing to fight for, his determination, and almost going through this pubescence as a human, as a hollow, and
I already said this.
Yeah.
as a Shinigami, and I think all of these things in combination. And
Did you say Shinigami or Shikigami?
I don't know.
It's really bad.
With the semi-realistic world,
Back.
going through this pubescence as a human, as a hollow, and as a Shinigami, and
You said Shinigami. Is that what it is in Bleach? I thought it was Shikigami. It might be Shinigami, but...
All you weebs in the chat, correct us.
I think all of these things in combination, in tandem with his age group, in tandem with the semi-realistic world that he lives in, makes each.
Okay, now hold on. When you start saying in tandem with his age group and semi-realistic world he's in, pause. First of all, Luffy's in the same age group as Ichigo, so is Naruto, so is Goku. Hey, shonen means young male, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. They're all going to be in the same age range, and semi-realistic world he's in. You mean the world with ghosts and monsters of people who can't accept their death after passing that have to be...
I guess what he's getting at is, like, it's a modern Tokyo, you know, like modern city.
So, One Punch Man.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, that's basically what we're gonna end up getting into is. You can't say
Like
he's
My
the
Hero.
most. You can't say he's the most realistic, and pull a bunch of points that are also applicable to a lot of other characters.
Well, yeah, and when you go his semi-realistic world, now we're actually talking about, like, how close is it tangential to our reality. So now we're going to have to be like, I don't even know if we can find a shonen that's, like, really semi-realistic in terms of...
I mean, I would argue that My Hero is closer to the most realistic because there's only one power system.
No, I've got it, actually. Hajime no Ippo.
Great point. Great fucking...
That is the most realistic main character in shonen.
They're just boxers.
You could say the most unrealistic thing that, like, they have is some of the feats that they do. Like, I will never get over the fact that...
Punching a bear.
God damn it.
Takamura knocking out a bear.
Takamura knocking out a fucking bear. I'll never get over. But yeah, I mean, Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone has one supernatural element. It's the start of the show, and that's it. Everything else is science.
Tsukasa one-shots a tiger.
Dude, are you telling me that there are some people out there that are genetic freaks that couldn't... I'm getting further in the statement.
No,
they can't.
No, they can't.
Dude. Okay, hold on. We're going to get into a complete tangent. But if we took, like, two of the most fit male and females on Earth, and we selectively bred them...
We eugenics the fuck out of them. That's a great conversation.
Yeah, and we got 10 babies out of them, and we cull the ones that aren't the most optimal. Or maybe we keep, like, 3 alive, right?
How many generations do you think it would take until we can get somebody who can one-shot a tiger?
No. I'm only asking a one-generation question. We take these 3 babies, and we put them through the most rigorous... I'm talking about space marine training, and they are getting
Right.
fed protein powder and steroids from like yeah.
Trenbolone, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And they're trained in every martial arts, and they are told from a young age, you like the world we're in, the world will end.
will defeat the tiger.
Yeah, and if you do this, you will, like, you'll get everything you ever wanted. Okay, do you think they could do it?
Could
Like-
kill a tiger with the bare hands?
And they at age 20 they have to do it, and they have their whole life training for it with like the most optimal diet, you know, all that.
So peak training, peak humans.
Yeah,
I think you could beat a tiger.
that's what I'm saying. Like a hypothetical peak human with in the prime of their life with the most optimal prep time and training. Are we capable? I'm talking about Neanderthal, not Neanderthal, you know what I mean, like.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like hunter gatherer type shit. Do you think we could 1v1 a tiger? I think we could.
I think out of the 3 kids, I think one of them wins.
Well, I mean, because my big argument, if people are like, no, there's no way, it's like, dude, we had to have done it once before, man. There's a reason we got here. We did have to fight bears and shit.
Yeah, but we didn't do the ones. It normally was they would get one of us, and then we would fucking run.
And jump them. Yes, yeah. But there was probably a situation at one point where we didn't have the club, and like a dude had to hold off a tiger, or like
It was probably next to a cliff. The tiger jumped at him, and he probably like threw it off of him. I don't know.
you don't think at one point where all we're doing every day is lifting boulder and lifting heavy club, we're just yoked
No.
as fuck eating pure protein. You don't think there's
No.
one ancient human that just is packing the firepower to just one well-placed hit and they just give a tiger a concussion? You don't think it's possible? You don't believe in us like that, dude?
I think out of all the potential specimens that would have the strength and power to maybe do that, would have I think with the infrequencies that we would have somebody that would be able to do that, I think the probability of them dying is too much for that probability to even matter.
All right, hold on. This isn't the question I'm trying to ask, but how much force is required to knock out a bear? I guess is easier.
I feel like we've already asked. I feel like we already did this Google.
We probably have.
I think this is a conversation that should not be had in the fucking Broken Ronin video. I'm sorry that we're having this tangent.
Alright, look, I'm not saying that bears don't no diff most humans. I'm just saying if we get like a peak human, I really want to believe. Alright. Alright, we'll get back to the video, I guess. Look, this is the mark of a not a great video when we're just desperately trying to talk about anything else but the video.
I mean, I would love to talk about the video if he would say a fucking line that hasn't already been said 5 times.
Yeah, I would love to talk about the video if I hadn't already talked about the video.
I feel like I've already fucking squeezed this lime, and now you're telling me, hey, Loach, you didn't get all the juice out, and I'm looking at the used up remains of the lime.
Nah, dude, I'm pretty sure I did.
One of the most realistic characters from a regular human teenager stand. But that is simply one man's opinion. Let me know what you...
I like the collective groan.
Number 1, this is your video. I know it's your opinion. Just
Well, I mean...
already off the gate. Okay, hey, spoiler for everybody that's watched this video this far. all the stuff I've said is my opinion.
Well, no, actually, no. It was all fact. Everything I said was pure fact.
All these are peer-reviewed facts that you can check.
Well, okay. Look, I feel like I should say this to everyone watching and to you, Broken Ronin, and to anyone that we'll cover in the future. I feel like you say that's just my opinion as like a, this will protect me. Now no one can criticize me. I'm just here to tell you, that's not going to save you, right?
Oh yeah, no, dude. There's you're saying this is your opinion. Does not invalidate any, or it doesn't give you a shield. You don't have a buff now.
It's not like we're gonna go, fuck, Trevor, he said it. It's not like it's a secret government phrase where we're like...
Scrap the video. Scrap the video. He said it was in his opinion.
Yeah, like, we get this far, we say everything, he goes, well, that's just my opinion. We go, fuck! Oh, god damn it.
throw his hat to the ground.
We just, we gesture out the room, we just do the sign to cut it off below our neck. Like, we can't convict. He said the phrase.
I throw my cup against the wall and I scream, fuck! God damn it!
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of my wife when I get home.
If I make it home.
You think about Ichigo Kurosaki as a main protagonist and as a character? Down in the comment section below. I'm pretty interested in hearing.
Yeah, I bet you a comment down below would be more interesting than anything you have to say. Also, it's not a 9-minute video, it's a 7-minute video. Fuck you.
Well, I'll make sure to do more analysis and a video talking about Ichigo's developmental stages as not only a human but his other species, a Soul Reaper and Hollow, to be the ones I'll only mention in this video. But I just want to preface this as I kind of close out the video that
you haven't already been prefacing multiple times.
This whole video has been prefaced.
Dude, this whole video feels like a preamble for the video.
Not saying that Ichigo by and far is like literally has the most realism to him. I think he has an extremely realistic personality. His goals are realistic, and the things that he goes through, while exaggerated and exemplified through battle, can be related and tied back to what being a normal human, a regular teenager, an adolescent, if you will, is. And I think that's something that makes him an extremely cool and interesting character.
An adolescent, a young buck, a teen, a 15 to 16 to 17-year-old, a younger than 18-year-old,
a spry young man, a wry little guy.
Of age of consent, but not legal to vote.
Many years away from the legal drinking age.
Many moons.
Age to the extent of time that I would prefer my wines.
Born before 2001, presumably.
Born in an age in which the economy was in a better position.
A pre-9/11 baby. Just so many synonyms for no reason. It's just funny.
When looked at with a little bit more of a skeptical lens. In any case, if you guys want more Bleach videos and want to watch another Bleach video that I dropped, I'll make sure to leave that link down in the description below, in the cards and in the end screen that should be showing up in a few seconds now. If you guys did enjoy, want more content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on more content like this. I really
Look, I don't want to be presumptuous, but I'm not sure if they liked the Bleach content, Broken Ronin.
Oh yeah.
I think if your channel is to be understood, it appears that not to like.
If the views are anything to go off of, it did. Oh no! Wow.
Yeah, hold on.
His next Bleach video.
The full potential.
Shut up. Oh whoa! He did a new video. Oh fuck! He did 2 new videos since.
I know.
Nobody see. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, it was 2. It was a year after this video was his next Bleach video. So. Yeah, the demand was not there.
Let's see. We're gonna count the Bleach videos. 1.
Two, three.
Where? Did I scroll past them?
The right next to.
Are you? Oh, you're not able to
first.
see what I'm scrolling through. So you might be scrolling faster than I am. 2.
It's right. It's right there. It's right there above the Boruto video.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4.
4.
Uh,
5.
yeah, 5,
6.
6. This is a very engaging part of the video, I'm sure. But yeah, as we can see, what the vast majority of, and look, apparently I've watched a few of these. Oh, the algorithm's got to me, my boy. So I think I counted 5,
7.
7. Yeah, that's what I meant. Oh yes, yeah, 8 right here if you didn't count the Gojo and Aizen.
I didn't count that one, but we can, so 8.
So, I think they liked one more than the other. Well, this has been 2 hours for a 9-minute video, so hopefully you guys are getting the fucking drill. So I think the whole thing we're doing with this is we're going to do the most recent as we found the video, and we're doing the first one. We'll probably change it up going forward, but then the next one we're going to be doing is his all-time most popular video on his channel, which we would assume to be what most people have seen, what most people know him by, and then I think both of us have a little pick for each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I don't think we need to do a whole lot of closing out because we don't have much to plug other than I'm still working on a thing. And at some point, I will probably start streaming and doing card game content and maybe just maybe some chess. But just a lot. Most of what you're seeing here, just chatting about different stuff with just some different visuals accompanying it than someone else's video. And then working on more CSR videos. Loach, you got anything you want to plug?
Once we finish leveling my new account on League of Legends, if anyone's interested in it, we'll be streaming our ranked climb this season.
Ooh, okay.
It's gonna be a fresh account, so we're going to see how high we can climb this season, given the new item sets. Other than that, that's all I really got going on right now.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're gonna say bye for now. And as we go on, we'll figure out our layout a little bit better because when we're not full screened, our faces don't look as good. But we'll figure it out.
All right, guys. First thing I want you to do is go to the comments right now, and I want you guys to tell me if at one point you were 15 years old and if you relate with Ichigo because of that.
Dude, and if you weren't 15 years old, I'm sorry for what you heard.
Yeah, if you weren't 15, you're not allowed to comment because you obviously can't relate to Ichigo. So I don't want to care about your opinion.
No,
honestly,
you know what? I'm age restrict this video only, so only people that have been 15.
you can only watch it if you were 15.
You must be this old to ride. All right.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching.
Bye bye.